The first flight of the Orion spacecraft was a milestone in the history of space exploration and laid the foundation for future missions to the Moon, Mars, and even beyond the solar system. This flight, which took place on December 5, 2014, was not only a technical test, but also a symbol of humanity's return to ambitious space exploration projects. Let's break down how it happened, what technologies were used, and why this craft was such an important step forward for NASA and world science. Before you send people into deep space, you need to make sure that the ship's systems work flawlessly in the most demanding conditions. Outer space is a hostile environment. High speeds, intense radiation, and extreme temperatures can knock out even the most robust systems. To understand how Orion will cope with such challenges, NASA decided to conduct a series of tests without a crew on board. The main purpose of the test flight was to assess the performance of all the ship's systems, from navigation to radiation protection. This is important because in the future Orion will be the main vehicle for delivering astronauts to the Moon and onto Mars. Such a complex vehicle must be able to withstand enormous overloads and abnormal situations, and the only way to test this is to fly it in real conditions. Orion was launched using a Delta IV Heavy rocket, one of the most powerful rockets in the world. From the first minutes of flight, it was clear that this spacecraft was built to overcome serious challenges. Once the craft reached orbit, it began its journey 3,600 miles above Earth, 15 times higher than the orbit of the International Space Station, ISS. This was the first meaningful test that allowed scientists to see how Orion would behave away from Earth's protective magnetic field. A key part of the test was passing through the Van Allen radiation belts, zones of intense radiation surrounding the Earth. These belts pose a serious threat to spacecraft and their systems. Orion was equipped with special radiation shielding that was tested for effectiveness under real-world conditions. For future missions, it is critical that the ship can safely transport people through such dangerous areas of space. The Orion was designed with all modern advances in space technology in mind. One of its features was the emergency escape system, which is supposed to protect the crew in case of a problem during the launch phase. This system can instantly pull the capsule with the crew away from the rocket if a critical situation arises. Another important part of the ship is its heat shield, designed to protect it during re-entry into Earth's atmosphere. During the flight, Orion traveled at speeds of more than 20,000 miles per hour, about 30 to 1,000 kilometers per hour, and its heat shield encountered temperatures of up to 4,000 degrees Fahrenheit, about 2,200 degrees Celsius during re-entry. This was one of the most extreme tests for the entire mission. The success of this part of the flight gave confidence that the craft could safely return to Earth after long missions. The spacecraft is equipped with ultra-precise navigation systems and is capable of processing up to 480 million commands per second. This incredible performance allows the spacecraft to autonomously navigate in space and process huge amounts of data acquired during the flight. After completing its journey to the far reaches of orbit, Orion began its return to Earth. The ship entered the atmosphere at tremendous speed, creating a plasma cloud around it. It was one of the most tense moments of the flight. For several minutes, communication with the ship was lost as signals could not penetrate the hot layer of plasma. At this point, Orion was fully autonomous. When the ship successfully passed through the atmosphere, it deployed its huge parachutes. These parachutes were specifically designed to slow the descent from 300 miles per hour to a safe 20 miles per hour before grounding in the Pacific Ocean. It's important to note that Orion's parachutes are some of the largest and most reliable ever built, and testing them was another key part of the mission. The first flight of Orion was a huge success for NASA and the entire world space industry. It showed that the spacecraft was ready to perform complex tasks in the extreme conditions of space. The data collected during this flight gave scientists valuable information about how the ship's systems would behave in future missions. With this mission, NASA is one step closer to realizing its ambitious plans to explore the Moon, Mars, and other planets. Orion is not just a spacecraft, it is a symbol of humanity's desire to explore new worlds. It combines advanced technology, safety, and versatility that will allow astronauts to go where no one has gone before. The story of Orion's first flight shows how complex and important space missions are. It was not just a test, but a step into the future, where humanity would be able to go beyond our planet and explore the far corners of space. This flight opened a new chapter in the history of space exploration and inspired many to dream that one day humans will travel to the stars.